Hey there, patrons. How you doing? It's your boy, Jonathan Macri, with you for another bonus episode of the Knicks Film School Podcast. Coming at you during All-Star Week. But we are recording this earlier than that because as we told you, I think on the last episode, Andrew and I were taking a little bit of time off. What I was saying to the person that was not here was that we should probably release this before our usual time because we're talking about All-Star stuff. So maybe, yeah,
this is where I'll jump in and say, hey, John, remember what we talked about with this episode? This is actually the last episode we're recording before we both leave for vacation is the most recent episode everyone's going to hear. This is going to go up before the one we recorded last week.
Right. Okay. Yes. So never mind. Forget I said anything. That's fantastic.
We don't have to restart again, but
we're not restarting a third time.
Now you all get a little insight into the negotiating process here at Knicks Film School.
There's no negotiation. There is one confused person and another person who tells the confused person what they're doing. And that's it.
A second time. Yes.
Often they're 3 or 4 times.
Maybe more.
So I wanted to... So this episode's an all-star themed edition. Are we still going to draft the teams?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be a 2-part episode. So one, we're going to draft all-star teams based on this year's all-stars. Like we're going to be, I don't even know who the top 2 vote getters are. Is it Giannis and LeBron?
Yes, you nailed it.
Great. So I'll be, God, who do I want to be of those 2?
If I know you want to be honest.
Well, I should be LeBron because he's older.
If you want to be LeBron James, I'd go ahead and be LeBron James. There's no shame in being LeBron James these days.
I'll be LeBron James.
There you go.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'll be LeBron James, and that means you'll be Giannis. We're going to draft teams as if we are actually trying to win this basketball game that is going to be played in a few days that no one is going to give 2 fucks about. So that is that. After that, we're going to take a little walk down memory lane. And maybe not memory lane because I think a lot of our listeners will not have been alive for the end of memory lane because we're going to go back a ways, and we're going to attempt to compare this year's because I was take a step back. I was looking at this year's All-Star roster, and I was like, you know what? I think this has a chance to truly be one of the best All-Star groups of players in the history of the league. And I'll get into why I thought and think that is in a bit. So, and then I was like, well, let me see if that's actually accurate and put it up against some all-star teams in the past. And then I proceeded to go a little insane and went through approximately 35, 55. About 60 years worth of All-Star Game box scores and or just rosters and kind of seeing who those rosters were comprised of, which rosters and trying to or basically arrive at the answer of like which was the best collection of All-Stars. And I think I arrived at a place that I'm happy with, but we're going to go through some stuff and I hope you're going to enjoy that. But first things first. Let's pick teams. Age before beauty, or what are we doing? You give me a look. Oh, high card. Okay.
We do this for literally every draft that we ever do. So I have a deck of cards in my hands. If you can hear it off mic, nice little shuffle.
It's great.
So age before beauty will be that your card will be drawn first. John, your card is a 6 with the name John written on it. Pretty cool. Wow.
Clearly portends something.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh, and your team LeBron, and we're number 6. There you go. My card is a 8 with the name Justin written on it. You can tell we use these cards for my fantasy football draft order. So I have a question. I know this is Team LeBron and Team Giannis, but like I was assuming Giannis and LeBron would be eligible to be drafted in this draft. This is technically Team John and Team GMAC.
Oh, you want to do it that way?
Yeah, because they don't draft them anymore. There's no longer Team LeBron and Team Giannis. It's East vs. West this year.
That's fine. I'm sorry. That's my bad.
Yeah. So I get to go first.
I'm curious who you pick.
It's actually a great This is actually great that I have to do this
Snake or alternate?
back to back.
Okay.
This is not snake. This is pick 'em.
Pick 'em. Okay.
Speaking of things that you have to be told multiple times.
I always double check.
Yes. Thank you for verifying the rules.
That's how I roll.
So I will start.
Oh, wait, hold on. Point of clarification.
Yes.
Are injured players eligible?
So that's, it's a good clarification because I wanted to know because there's exactly 2 that were injured and needed replacements. We could just, it's even. We could actually add them as eligible players if we want to.
I think it'll make it more fun and interesting if we don't. Realize in saying that, I'm probably giving you an advantage, but I think that's what we should do.
Okay. I vote that we do. So you get seniority here. So if you say we don't, we don't. So Embiid and Randall will not be eligible. Yeah. Just because it's even. It's an extra 2 players. Doesn't make it weird.
Fine. Fuck it. Fine. Let's draft them. That's fine.
Now, the one thing I will say is, do we have to draft from starters first before we go to the reserve? Do all starters have to be taken first before we go to reserves?
No.
Okay. So anybody on either roster is eligible right now?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. With my first pick, I'm taking, I was going to say Jalen Brunson. That'd be funny. I will take the healthy version of Joel Embiid.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. I will take.
Stumped him on the first question.
I mean, we're playing. They're playing hard. They're trying to win. This shit matters. All of those things. I'll take Kawhi.
Ooh, I love it. I love that you went this way.
He's still the guy, I think, that if I had to win a game, I'm going with him.
Okay. I'll go Jokic.
You're assembling a roster that makes sense.
Yeah. Jokic is my point guard.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay.
I seem to just, Embiid just could handle the low post and I could run horns for just literally any point guard at the moment.
I'm almost curious to see how far you take this. So fine. You want to do that? That's fine. Fine. I'll take Steph.
You're going.
I'm going what with the
No. You have shooting on your team. I now need to. If we're doing teams that make sense, I'm going to eventually need to prioritize.
You want to play a game of chicken? Fucking strap in.
Okay.
And
John's got a little testy.
Rev the engines.
It's like I said that the Knicks were dropping like flies or something.
And I live my life quarter mile at a time.
Whoa! You do not get to quote Vin Diesel in front of me, sir, with the slander. That's what we should have fought about the other night. Okay. The majesty of those masterpieces that will be in chapter 11, which is an aptly titled name for the last movie in that franchise.
Jesus.
Next year.
I'm actually quoting 6 Trophies, the Shea Serrano Jason Concepcion podcast.
Okay. And guess what they're quoting? The Fast and the Furious franchise. Okay.
It's your pick.
My pick. I'll take LeBron James.
Okay. Might
have gave you a gimme here. Depending on where you go next. I know there's one guy I might have just gifted you.
I'm looking in a couple different directions here. I will go. I need this team to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with KD.
Okay.
I was looking at about 4 different players for that last spot.
I figured. Which is how I end up with Luka.
Yeah, only one ball. That's the thing.
That is.
Only one ball.
Don't worry. Spo is my coach. I'm going to make sure it's a coach that knows how to get guys to share one ball.
Okay. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I think this set up pretty well for me. Well, let me see here. This is challenging. I got to tell you. Okay. Again, I'm probably gonna surprise you. I'm gonna go with Tatum.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that.
Okay. I'm just into, man, we're being disrespectful to one player in particular at the moment. I will take.
So this is, by the way, the fact that we are 8 players in and some of the names that are on the board are some of the names that are on the board, I think is what is the best encapsulation of what inspired me to do the exercise that we're going to do next.
Okay.
Just to go through a little bit of NBA history. This is a ridiculous group of talent.
I agree. I very much agree.
Yeah.
I can worry about this later. SGA.
Okay. You're taking SGA. All right. Man, I think my strategy paid off because I had a feeling that's how you were going to go. I could go in a couple different directions here. There's 2 in particular, actually, that I could go. Maybe 3. And I'll do. I mean, these are our starters, right? That we're picking. The first 5 are our starters.
Yeah, your first 5 of your starters. That doesn't mean like they have to start the whole game. You can mix and match.
For sure.
You know, doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish.
Yeah.
Wise man once said.
Okay. I'm trying to think of which guy you're not going to take, but I have a feeling that you're going to take either one. I will go Giannis.
That's Giannis going 10th in this draft is what I said. What I meant by like we're being very disrespectful to somebody.
And I almost didn't take him.
Well, potentially, whoever you were consternating over taking, you might be able to get now because I'm going to take Jalen Brunson.
Okay, that was not who I was going to take. The other guy that I was going to take, who I don't know if I want to tell you.
Yeah, I was. Let's keep with strategy. You're good.
But I don't think you're going to take him. I will take Anthony Edwards.
Wow. That shook me up. Okay. I have multiple players that I'm interested in now.
Great.
Okay. Wow. That opens some things up for me.
You could walk through any doors you'd like.
Yeah, I'm at the point where shooting is going to matter for me now. So I am.
I mean, good luck getting shots off against my team.
I'm getting a rebound against my team.
Well, rebounds are only some things that occur if you miss shots.
Oh, I know. I watched the Knicks.
I mean,
but as somebody quoted a stat recently, a Precious Achiuwa, Josh Hart offensive rating can be pretty good if you get every rebound. All right. I will start with Donovan Mitchell.
Wow. All right. Do I want to push it again? Do I want to push it a second time? This is wild. Sure. I'm going to push it one more time. I'm going to go Booker.
Push it one more time. What is he talking about? I will take. I have. You're my centers. You're my 4. Don't overthink this. Anthony Davis.
Fuck. God damn it. Damn it. I guess I couldn't push it again. Shit. I almost took him over Giannis.
Okay. Wow.
I was trying to push it one more time because I actually, I was just trying to push it one more time. Okay, that's fine.
The need to make the teams make sense of it all. Like I have I took my center and my backup center, but like I can play AD and Jokic together. I can play.
Yes, you could play
like
two
LeBron and Embiid together.
You could play these guys
that's
together.
the calculation I'm doing.
Absolutely. Okay. The fact
but then
that
it was also I think I took the next best player available too, which was also a sound strategy.
Again, I almost took him like third in my draft. Well, in that case, man, this might be recency bias, but no. I'm going to stick with the theme here. I'm going to do Paul George.
Who'd you take after Booker? Paul George. So you took Edwards is what I didn't write down.
Yep.
And Book PG-13.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 two-way players. Booker's maybe 6.5 two-way players, and then Steph.
John, you have a team full of all-stars.
Yeah, but it's all wings.
That's fair. You went the wings route. You're right. I only have, at best, you could say no. I have the top 2 MVP candidates on my team. I'm good.
Okay.
How much of a jam do I want to put you in?
Oh.
I don't think there is a jam. All right. I'll take Halliburton.
Okay. Though I'm not gonna tempt fate anymore. I'll take Bam. I know that's what you were thinking.
Well, actually, like I'm looking at a different center that I was like, but you're good with shooting, so that's the direction. I'm set on big men, so I didn't need him necessarily. And now I have, in my opinion, a pretty decent guard rotation.
Yeah, sure.
I will take. Hell, shooters shoot. I'll take Cat.
You're going to take him. Okay, that's fine.
He's going to be like a 3 on my team. He's just going to be a catch and shoot player.
I mean, good luck with that.
As like the 3, yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a little recency bias in my next pick. I'm also wondering, do I want Steph to play 48 minutes?
Well, Booker's a point guard, technically.
No, I don't. That's why I'm going to take Damian Lillard with my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th pick, sir.
Yes. I would argue that's where he should be drafted this year.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
In fact, I would have taken this guy over Dame this year. And it'd be Tyrese Maxey.
Have fun with that. All right. So I took
Dame. Third point guard, John. 4th point guard in certain lineups.
Fine. Great.
I love how competitive and dismissive you're getting. We're both taking all-stars. Like we're both like all of these are good basketball players. Like have fun with that. Your team of all-stars.
Okay. Great. You could. I don't. All I hear is like what's the cartoon character that was. It just sounds like.
So I'm the teacher and Charlie Brown. Okay.
That's what you are.
Now we know how John's process when
listen, as long as you're putting this up to a poll, that's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the guy that, again, this is the recency bias guy, but it's been a while since I watched the game and came away with just like, holy fuck, the league is fucked if this guy shoots it for like just shoots it like going forward, and I'll take Paolo. The league is fucked if he shoots. Like no one is stopping that dude.
Okay, but this is a draft for this year.
He's having a pretty good year.
For someone that screams efficiency,
he's my 11th man.
I know he is, but you just made the case that this is a pick for this year, and
it is.
The case was, look what he's going to be in the future. I realize this is a keeper draft that we're doing.
I'm just saying, in addition to the rationale for why I'm picking him now, it's an extra commentary.
Mm-hmm. Julius Randle.
I don't know if you know how these work. You give commentary.
Yes.
You say words.
And I respond with alternative commentary.
It's great.
If that's how good podcasting works. Julius Randle.
You take a Randle?
Yeah. Okay. We're at the point where I don't like anybody left. So I would take my favorite player of the remaining players.
So I'll do Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, we have 3 guys left. So I will go up north and take Mr. Canada, Scotty Barnes, leaving you with your
Trey
other
Young.
point guard. Yeah.
It makes sense that Trey is going to play. I mean, I have Trey, Dame, and Steph.
Yeah. But we got to like pick 10 for you. You had 1 point guard, which is pretty cool that you ended up with Trey, Dame, and Steph anyway.
I mean, I love that I have Trey, Dame, and Steph as my point guards. I am obviously leaning all the way into going small with Bam, Giannis, and I guess we could go in Team USA route because I have Paolo as like my third string center. And then it's just wings. Kawhi, KD, Tatum, Edwards, Booker, Paul George, and Jaylen Brown. So I like how I've composed my team. I would have liked to get AD. I'm not going to lie about that. But the fact that I have all of these interchangeable pieces and the fact that I have a bunch of guys who I feel will be very effective off the ball and able to amplify Steph and able to amplify Edwards and able to amplify Dame. I mean, basically, that's what my team is. It's like getting Dame and Steph into situations where they can be Dame and Steph. And that's my team.
So John has consistently preached to me anytime I try to bring up the MVP conversation that we are in an era of like these 3 guys, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. And I believe if I'll make sure I translate this correctly from my Charlie Brown voice, but if I remember right, you once compared Luka Doncic to Michael Jordan.
I did.
Then there's a player that gets mentioned in that same conversation as Michael Jordan, named LeBron James. And then, if you want to talk about the MVP conversation this year, I would argue the person, according to Vegas and according to an MVP straw poll that will finish either second or third in the MVP, will be SGA.
It's SGA.
Yeah, that's my starting 5.
I know. It's a very nice starting 5. I don't know that it makes a lot of basketball sense.
I think putting 5 MVP candidates on the court together is basketball sense. They'll figure it out.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Look, you might be right. Our teams could probably use like a trade with one another, but
you think an all-star for an all-star? By the way, speaking of which, before we get on to your history lesson, so we're just like not going to comment that LeBron to the Warriors was like discussed this week or during the all-star break.
I didn't read any of those articles because I think it's all nonsense.
Oh, no.
I saw the clips.
You should listen to your friend Zach Lowe and the conversation he had with Ramona Shelburne and then the Stephen, you're never going to do this, but the conversation Stephen A had with Rich Paul.
Give me the 15-second version.
So apparently LeBron sends out the emoji and it's like clear he's doing his yearly, I'm disgruntled, blah, blah, blah.
Great.
And then Joe Lacob reaches out to Jeannie Buss and is like, hey, LeBron seems disgruntled.
Fine.
Is there a thing there where we could be trade partners? Jeannie's like, we're not interested in trading him, but you got to go to Rich Paul. And at least like, we want him to be happy if he's going to be here. If he's not happy and you talk to Rich and there's traction there, maybe we could talk. And when Lacob goes to Rich Paul, Draymond gets involved and tries to orchestrate a trade. And it went to LeBron and was like, hey, if you're not happy here, we'll trade you. We'll pursue this. And it's why my question to you is like, LeBron then was like, I'm good. I'll stay with the Lakers. Like, I'll stay in LA.
I was waiting for the punchline. There's no story there. I don't think that's a story.
I think the fact that it got all the way to LeBron and it wasn't just an immediate, no, you're good. Like we're not even pursuing this.
Yeah, that's to me is like, I met someone who knows someone who knows someone. Let's pretend I'm single for a minute. Who knows someone who knows someone who knows Scarlett Johansson, and let's pretend she's also single and not married to someone that I used to be very close friends with. Like I sent an email, and that person sent an email, and that person sent an email, and it got all the way to the 2-yard line when Scarlett Johansson was like, "Who the fuck is this asshole? Leave me alone." That's what this reads like to me.
Okay.
Sorry.
I thought it was fascinating that if LeBron is like, know what? Golden State is a 1 hour plane ride away.
And
go ahead, let's go down a history lesson then.
If my mother had wheels, she'd be a wagon. And I'm very proud of myself that I ignored this story because I saw from afar that it would be a waste of my time to go down the rabbit hole. And now I feel justified. So there we go.
So All-Stars of history past, All-Star games of history past, John. Go ahead.
Why are you mad at me?
I'm not. I just thought it was a fascinating story, and you went down here.
Shat all over it.
Quite literally. Like I even did the extra work to listen to the pod you always reference. I was goodness. Zach Lowe thinks this is interesting. He must think this is interesting. No, this is apparently as
it's offensive to me.
Improbable as so someone went to Tibbs and asked, would you play 3 guards?
Oh my God.
Time? You know what else that is?
The problem,
that's
Andrew.
Scarlett Johansson. No, I should have checked for cleaning the glass for stories, everybody. That's what I should have done because that's where the interesting things are. You know
what the problem is? You don't care about winning. That's the problem.
Nope. That's me. Just over here folding laundry poorly, apparently. Sounding like Charlie Brown's teacher.
I really am kind of a dick sometimes.
We hired a PR guy for that. Yeah. He's since quit because he had to go into therapy.
You're on one now.
What did you hire me for, Mr. Claudio? My goodness.
Before we get to my All-Star trip down memory lane,
we will put these teams up for a vote on Patreon.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Okay.
Let the people vote. Let the people decide. I think I found the worst All-Star in history.
Ooh, can I guess?
You don't know who this person is.
Jamal so it's not going to be someone I watched play then.
No, it is not.
Okay. I was going to go Jamal McGlory, but if you're going someone different, never mind.
Do you know who a gentleman by the name of James Donaldson is?
No, it sounds like he's the brother of a made-up brother for the guy that used to play for the Yankees.
Okay.
Josh Donaldson's got a brother. What's his name? James Donaldson?
Maybe. Although I think their parents would be busy for a very long breath of time. James Donaldson was a 4th round pick, 73rd overall, back when the NBA used to have 4 rounds. He was drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, remember them, in the 1979 NBA draft. By the time all was said and done, played for 5 NBA teams. The majority of that time was spent in the middle of his career with the Dallas Mavericks. And for one shining moment, one season, he made the All-Star team. And the reason why this caught my eye was as I was looking at the All-Star rosters and the scoring averages and what not and what have you for all the different players. You want to care to guess how many points per game James Donaldson averaged in the year that he made the All-Star team?
By the tone of your explanation here, I'm guessing it's a low number. So I'm going to say
throw a number out there.
7.
That's frightening.
What?
It's 7.0 points per game.
Oh, I nailed it.
You got it exactly right. Now, in the history of the NBA, would you care to guess how many players have made the All-Star team averaging 7 points per game or fewer?
Probably a lot of defensive guys.
I was about to say, there's a lot of centers out there who, maybe were not big scoring threats.
I'd say less than 10.
It is less than 10. It is 4. The most recent one was Ben Wallace, who made the All-Star team in the 2002-03 season, averaging 6.9 points per game. Notably, during that season, Ben Wallace won the Defensive Player of the Year. The previous player to make the All-Star team, averaging under 7 points a game, a gentleman by the name of Mark Eaton, who I know you've heard of, because he had all sorts of crazy block seasons, and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards to his name, one of which was during the season he made the All-Star team while averaging fewer than 7 points a game in 1988-89. The third season was sorry, you got me with the Josh Donaldson thing, was the James Donaldson season. In 1987-88, that's when he made it, averaging, again, 7 points a game. And the only other time was back in 1956 when Dick McGuire made it for the fighting New York Knickerbockers, back when, let's just say, scoring was not at a high. Now, again, Ben Wallace and Mark Eaton, they were literally the best defensive player in the sport for the years that they made the All-Star team. James Donaldson did not get a single vote for the Defensive Player of the Year, did not get a single vote for All Defense. He got one sole solitary vote for All NBA the year before he made the All-Star team. And I'm just going to put it out there. I have no earthly clue how James Donaldson made the All-Star team in 1988, averaging 7 points a game, by all accounts, not being a particularly great defender. For a Dallas team that was very good, they were 53-29. But you look at their team, they had a bunch of guys. They had Derek Harper, they had Rolando Blackman, they had Mark Aguirre, they had Sam Perkins. James Donaldson started every game for them. Again, he's very good. They've got Tremp. If anyone out there listening knows why James Donaldson made the All-Star team in 1988, please send me a note, email, DM, whatever, and let me know, because I haven't the foggiest. And that's what I wanted to say about that.
Thank you, Forrest. Is there a reason you didn't say Dirk?
I don't count that All-Star game.
So
or Wade.
Him or Wade. Okay. Yeah, then because that was my question. I was like, oh, is this going to be as far as worst All-Stars to make it, the honorary ones that made it that year?
Yeah, no, I don't. And I will say this: James Donaldson was a injury replacement, so he was not originally one of the people that made it. But even so,
1988. Interesting.
Yeah, 1988. Okay.
He goes by Jamie Donaldson, apparently, to some people. James Lee Donaldson.
It's fantastic for him. Okay. So here's why I think this All-Star team has a chance to be one of the best. So there are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on this All-Star team that are that made the top 75 list, which not only is that not a record, it's not close to the record, and we'll get to the record as best as I could tell in a little bit. But I think in terms of top end talent, elite talent that has at one point or another been at the pinnacle of their sport, or will, and this is the key part, or at some point in time will be at the pinnacle of their sport. That's where I think this class may wind up having an argument when we look back on it 10 or 15 years from now. So off the top of your head, you know how many MVPs or players who have won MVP are on this current team?
Off the top of my head, you said so 5, I guess.
6. Giannis, KD, LeBron, Curry, Embiid, and Jokic. As best as I could tell, and I was as diligent as I could be with the research today, I do not believe that an All-Star team has ever had more than 8 players on it who won an MVP at some point in time during their career, whether it was before the All-Star team that they were named of or after. This team has 6 right now. I will also I will say that in addition to a couple of top 3 finishers, Kawhi, who I think is like an MVP caliber talent, even though he never won the MVP. Like he was the second pick in the draft that we just did over a bunch of guys that won MVP for a reason. AD finished top 3 in MVP. Paul George finished top 3 in MVP. I think this draft has a chance to produce, or this All-Star team has a chance to produce up to 3 more MVP award winners out of the following group. Luka, I would be floored if he did not get an MVP. So then can you get 2 out of the following group? Tatum, Anthony Edwards, SGA, Devin Booker, and now we're getting into probably a stretch, Paolo Banchero or Donovan Mitchell. So I think between Tatum, Ant, and SGA, you look at where the league is at right now, I think at least one of those guys got a shot. Maybe 2. So I think when we're looking back and we're looking at, again, the top end talent, to say nothing of the fact that I think this draft also has a chance to be up there in terms of the All-Star, or this, I keep saying draft, this All-Star team has a chance to be up there in terms of the most players ever that eventually made the Hall of Fame. Which again, by my count, the top All-Star team is 20, and we'll get to that All-Star team in a bit. Who do you? Let's just go through it real quick. So Hall of Fame: Kawhi, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Steph,
yes.
KD,
yes.
Tatum,
knock the easy ones out. Yes.
Giannis,
yes.
Dame,
yes.
Embiid,
yes.
Jokic,
yes.
LeBron, Luka,
yes.
Anthony Davis, top 75 player ever. So that, hold on, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Again, this is tough because it's early. Booker, I think yes.
Yeah, yes. The NBA.
Okay.
It's a basketball
12.
thing.
That's 12. Also, actually, this is very easy. Paul George.
Yes, 9-time All-Star.
So that's 13. SGA, I think we're headed there.
Yeah. Well, he's the way his career is.
Again,
he would have to get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Similar, Anthony Edwards.
Yes.
That gets us up to 15. Here are the remaining players that I have not named: Bam Adebayo, Paolo Banchero, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, Scotty Barnes, Julius Randle, Tyrese Maxey, Karl Anthony Towns, Tyrese Halliburton, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson. Donovan's getting in.
I was about to say, Mitchell's the one you haven't named yet, and he's got the most All-Star games remaining of the people you've named yet.
So that's 16. I got to tell you, I think Bam's the next.
The playoff success is what's going to get him there if he gets there.
Let's put him in. That's 17. We get 3 more. I mean, man, dude hasn't even played in a playoff game, but Halliburton?
No, I'm not there yet.
I mean, do you want to go Brunson?
Not there yet. Made one All-Star team.
I tell you, I got to tell you. So if we're not going either of those directions, you know who the only other guy that at this point is probably a safe bet, and off the top of my head, I don't even know how many All-Star teams he's made. This is going to probably...
I have the numbers in front of me. Who are you saying? Who are you thinking?
Brown.
He's got 3, and I would say...
At 27 years old, he's got 3, only 1 All-NBA, and I would not be surprised if that's his only All-NBA. That's not enough. Unless the Celtics win like multiple titles.
He'd have to go the Clay route, where it's like I was the second or third best player on a team that won multiple titles. Yes.
Yeah, Clay route.
But even then, Clay has like moments in those playoff runs that, again, you got to be like a supplementary player on a dynasty,
Fine.
and then that resume gets you in.
I probably go no on Brown. I got to tell you who, if I was a betting man, I'd go yes on Paolo today. A year and a half into the kid's career.
I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah. So if we get Paolo, Halliburton.
Wow.
I mean, Cat. I don't think. Jeez. Well, but then again, Cat, man,
Cat's got 4.
Yeah. 4, and a few NBAs too, right?
Yeah,
3.
I think he's got the same as Randall too.
He's got 2 NBAs, which I don't think
same as Randall too.
Yeah, but he's not getting any more, and I would not be shocked if he doesn't get any more All-Star teams. So then maybe Brunson is going to be the guy that could get this group to 20 at the end of the day. We'll see. It's a respectable group, you know. Okay. The only relatively recent group that I think is with this class is the group from 2021, which has all of the 7 top 75ers that I named that are on this team, in addition to Harden and CP3. So that's 9 top 75 all-time players. Again, this is the 21 All-Star team, plus Embiid and Jokic, plus Tatum, Paul George, Luka, and then you throw in Kyrie, and then you throw in Booker and Mitchell. What the 21 team doesn't have, it doesn't have Edwards, it doesn't have SGA, and if you want to throw like Paolo in there too. So maybe those teams are about even. I would give this one the edge if I'm guessing how we're looking back on it several years from now. I would probably give this one the edge. Do you want to hear the team that since Jordan was a Bull has the most guys that made the top 75?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we have a tie at 2. The 2015 team had 13 players on it that eventually made the top 75. But of those 13 players, excuse me, only 11 were active for the game. So we're dealing with some injury replacements here. You want to hear who was on that West team?
Sure.
Brace yourself. Kobe Bryant injured. Anthony Davis injured. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, James Harden, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Tim Duncan, Dirk Nowitzki. That is a total of 10 players on one roster, the West All-Star roster, that made the NBA's top 75. And there are a total of 8 MVPs on that team. I just named 7 of them. And then there was the LeBron guy on the other side of the ledger, along with Dwayne Wade and your boy, Carmelo Anthony. So those are your 13 top 75ers. Again, 11 of which were active for the game. I think it's either that group or the one I'm about to mention in 2008 that is basically the best modern All-Star team. What you want me to read you some of the other names on the 2015 team?
Oh no, I have a. Oh yes, for people listening.
Yeah. So in addition, these guys are either in the Hall of Fame or will be first ballot Hall of Famers. Chris Bosh, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, Pau Gasol, Kyrie Irving, and I don't think it's going to be a dispute for these next 3 also. LaMarcus Aldridge, Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol. So that is 21 players that by the end of the day, maybe Marc Gasol, there's a toss-up. I think he's getting in. That would be 21 Hall of Famers. That's a lot.
Yeah. We just went through like trying to get to 20 with this year's team.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so, but that team, and then, okay, so compare that to the 2008 team. So the 2008 team is notable because there have been, as best as I could tell, in the last, I only went back to like the late 60s. There have been, how many teams do you think in all that time had two starting lineups where all 10 players made the Hall of Fame?
This is since when?
I went back to it could be the whole time. I went back to the like mid to late 60s. So let's just say since 1969. How about that?
And so all 10 made the Hall of Fame?
So all 10, 5 starters in both conferences.
I'll say 30. Or am I way off? It's actually a low number.
It's 5.
Oh, it's 5. Okay.
The biggest shock that I had in going through all of these was how often there would be like 8 or 9 like all-time top 75 level like 4 or 5 Pantheon guys, like first ballot Hall of Famers, and then like AC Green as the Knights. And that's just one example. Like AC Green made one All-Star team. For that one All-Star team, he was a starter, and like the guys he was surrounded by were just insane. So, in 2008, all 10 starters either are in the Hall of Fame or will be on the Hall of Fame. Those 10: Kobe. I probably should have done this by conference. I
have it. Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Carmelo Anthony, Tim Duncan, and Yao Ming for the Western Conference. In the East, Jason Kidd, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, and Dwight Howard, which will be a fun conversation when it happens.
There won't be a conversation. He's getting it.
I'm saying that how disrespected he's been in his career, and he was an immediate Hall of Famer, is the conversation. Yes. That's what I mean by the fun conversation.
Yeah, sure. That's fair. And then, like the 2015 class, this one also had 13 players who eventually made the top 75 all time. KG, who was in addition to the guys we just mentioned, KG, who was injured, didn't play. Steve Nash, Ray Allen, Chris Paul, Paul Pierce, Dirk, and did I mention? And yeah, that's it. So some pretty good groups, right?
08 and 2015, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, sorry, one more thing I'll add is the. Oh wait, I said. Oh no, sorry, never mind. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to point out in the rest of the 2000s. 2000. Did I say 2015 had 8 MVPs?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, so 2015 had 8 MVPs. I'm actually going to go back to 2006 because 2006 also had 8 MVPs. The reason why I give the nod to 06 over 2015 is Kobe didn't play in 2015. In 2006, Kobe played in addition to Garnett, LeBron, Duncan, Shaq, Nash, Dirk, and Iverson. 8 MVPs on the healthy roster for that All-Star team, which is just ridiculous. I mean, that again, the 2006 one is up there for most like current or eventual Hall of Famers. That was pretty special. Can I give you my worst All-Star team?
Is it though one team? Okay.
So yeah. I thought of you when I was looking at this because here was the East. Ready? I'm going to read the East roster.
Mm-hmm.
Starters. These are starters. Starters. Iverson. Okay. MVP. Top 75er. Hall of Famer. The whole thing. Vince Carter. Good. Going to be in the Hall of Fame. Tracy McGrady. In the Hall of Fame. Had some really, really, really nice seasons. Antonio Davis and Anthony Mason. Those are your starters. Off the bench, we had one additional top 75 player. That's Ray Allen. And then the rest of the bench, Hall of Famer Dikembe Mutombo. Pretty good. Followed by Stephon Marbury, Glenn Robinson, Latrell Sprewell, Jerry Stackhouse, and Allen Houston. At the end of when I think we've come far enough, I think we're going to finish up with, well, obviously 2 top 75 players, and we're going to get, once Carter is in, 5 Hall of Famers. I cannot express to you how little 5 eventual Hall of Famers is for a conference All-Star team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they won the game,
and they won the game over Bryant, Kidd, Duncan, Garnett, along with Chris Webber. Those were your West starters. I will say this: not not an all-time West team. Vlade Divac on that team, Antonio McDyess on that team, Michael Finley on that team, and Rasheed Wallace on that team. So,
yeah, but those were like the young guys. Those were like the Palos of it. And like we're forgetting Shaq got voted in and was an injury.
Didn't play due to injury. Alonzo Mourning didn't play due to injury. Grant Hill didn't play due to injury. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was that. Okay, we're getting a little over on time, so I'm gonna go through the rest of these quick. My argument, my team that I would say, if you're talking about top end talent in the modern era, so let's go post 1990.
Okay.
Let's do post 1990. Here's your top 5 for the 97-98 All-Star game. So the 98 team. Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Garnett. This was a funky year because you got the crossover with Jordan it was the only year that it was the crossover with Jordan and Kobe. Jordan did play the 2 years with the Wizards, but Jordan, Duncan, Kobe, Shaq. That's 4 top, 12, 13 guys. And then KG, I think a lot of people would have him as a top 20 guy. I think that's pretty good.
Well, that's couple of the starters too. There's one on the West bench that I think deserves mentioning in that top 12 conversation.
Who? Karl Malone?
Tim Duncan.
Did I said Duncan? Jordan, Duncan, said, Kobe, Shaq, KG.
You said Jordan. So you went through the top 12 convo and you said Jordan, Kobe, Shaq. So I'm just adding.
I'm sorry. I meant to say Duncan. Okay. Let's just skip right to what
This is also the game Jeff Van Gundy coached the All-Star game in. It was at Madison Square Garden, for that matter.
Did not remember that.
This is the one from The Last Dance, the little Laker boy.
Here's the team that I would say, my personal estimation. I think this is the greatest All-Star team of all time.
Okay, what year?
1990.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
18 eventual top 75 all-time players were on this roster. One was hurt. The one that was hurt was Karl Malone. Decent player. Here are the guys that were healthy and played. Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Patrick Ewing, Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Dominique Wilkins, Reggie Miller, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. I just named 11 players. Those were 11 of the 12 East All-Stars. 11 of 12 eventually made the top 75. You're looking at it, so I'm not going to ask you to guess. The 12th man, the only one who didn't make the top 75 all time, and he's a proud Hall of Famer, Joe Dumars. Was like, and again, like you'd be like, Joe Dumars. Go back and look at your average All-Star team. Probably both conferences are going to have a player that's a hell of a lot worse than Joe Dumars. So Joe Dumars is your 12th man, only non-top 75 guys. Only non-top 25 guy. Here is your West. Hakeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, John Stockton, David Robinson, Clyde Drexler, and then I mentioned Malone. Also on the West roster, Chris Mullin. Nice to get a dream teamer in there on the edge. But I don't even know what to say.
So you've seen that meme of the 3 dragons, the 2 look menacing, and then 1 looks like Goofy or has like a weird face?
Yes.
Okay. That's AC Green starting in this All-Star game.
This is the AC Green one.
Yeah.
I told you this is the AC Green one.
I'm matching your intensity for it. Yes. It's like, this is the greatest All-Star game that John is pointing to. I see all the Hall of Famers and top 75ers, and AC Green got a start in this game.
Okay. Couple more and then we're going to finish up. I think as far as the greatest collection of top end talent, I mentioned the Jordan, Duncan, Kobe, Shaq, KG year in '98. Give this one a run for your money. This is in 1987. 8 MVPs. Those MVPs. Michael Jordan, Dr. J, Larry Bird, Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon. Don't think about it too long. How many total MVPs did those guys win in the NBA?
13.
Come on, I mentioned Jordan and Kareem.
That's 8 right there. Oh, so it's like 20. You told me not to think. Anytime I think I get it right, you get mad at me.
It's 23. Kareem had 6, Jordan had 5.
Okay. You told me not to think. When I don't think I get it wrong.
23 MVPs. It goes up to 26 if we count Dr. J's 3 ABA MVPs. So depending on how you look at it, literally a third of all MVP, or even a quarter. If we factor in all the ABA MVPs and add them to the NBA MVPs, it's like more than a quarter of all the MVPs that have ever been handed out were represented in the 1987 All-Star game. My vote for greatest 2 starting lineups in the same game, 1985, for the starting for your Western Conference All-Stars, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, George Gervin, Adrian Dantley, Ralph Sampson. I know those last 2 don't sound too inspiring. Let's go over to the East. Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Dr. J, Michael Jordan.
Jeez.
Jordan, Moses, Bird, all top 15 guys ever. Dr. J is a top 20 guy. Isaiah Thomas, a top 25. And then you throw in Magic, Kareem, Gervin's probably around 40 or so. And then it's just Dantley and Sampson they're just plain all Hall of Famers. And then let's finish up here. 1971.
Real quick, one thing about the 85 East.
Yes.
Like just Bernard King winning the scoring title on the bench over there. Like that's how good the East team was. Yeah.
Ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Save the best for last. This is 1971. Okay. Now, I will say as a caveat, for a few years there, for reasons, again, I don't know, the NBA had 14 players for each conference as opposed to 12. I forget exactly when they switched to 12. It was not that long after this. 1971, they had 14 on each roster, so a total of 28 players. 15 of the 28, so more than half, ended up on the NBA's top 75 all-time list. 20 ended up in the Hall of Fame. Here are your 15 top 75 guys. Kareem, Wilt, Oscar, John Havlicek, Elvin Hayes, Jerry West, Jerry Lucas, Dave Bing, Lenny Wilkins, Willis Reed, Clyde Frazier, Billy Cunningham, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Wes Unseld, Dave the Busher. Your 5 additional Hall of Famers: Connie Hawkins, Chet Walker, Gus Johnson, JoJo White, Lou Hudson. Everybody on this All-Star team, all 28 guys, made at least 2 All-Star teams in their career, and only 2 guys out of the 28 made only 2 All-Star teams. Everybody else was at 3 or higher. So, final answer, I'm going with my personal top 3, let's say. I'm going 71. As my daughter is joining us, I'm going 1971. I'm going 1990. Man, do you think I should go something more modern for the last one?
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this year's team's pretty stacked.
Man. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at that 15 team. I know Kobe didn't play, but I get Kobe, KD, LeBron, and Curry. That's 4 top 12, top 13 guys. Excuse me. And I get Duncan. That's 5.
There you go.
That's 5 top 15 guys. And Dirk is probably an additional top. That's maybe in top 20. In addition to those 6, I get MVPs in Russ and Harden. And then just my leftovers are Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, Melo, AD, Dame. Like, I think I'm going to go 2015. I think that's a nice cross section of like old and new.
Fair enough.
We should put that to a vote. I'm curious if anybody actually wants to go and look at those 3 years. So can we put 2 things to a vote?
We can put 2 things to the vote.
Okay. So 1971, 1990, and 2015. Which is your pick? And if you want to do a write-in vote or something, or say another year that we mentioned that you think should be considered, feel free to do that. I'm sorry. I kept you too long today, Andrew.
You're good.
I just I spent
you did a ton of research.
I spent probably 2 hours of my day today going down this rabbit hole, and I could not have been happier about it. Truly.
Did you notice the awkwardness of the 04 team?
The awkwardness of the 04 team?
Yeah, no LeBron, no MJ.
So that was the one in between year.
The one in between year where LeBron was in the league, but he didn't make the All-Star team. But it's the one weird year where we had no LeBron, no MJ.
You want to know what's so sad? And if I was a better, or if I was a lesser man, I would not admit this on the pod. You know what I didn't realize until today?
What?
That Bill Russell and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar never played in league together.
Really?
The year Kareem was a rookie, the year after Bill Russell retired.
No, I'm not. I knew that. I just didn't know you didn't know that.
Did not realize it until today.
The league is a funny way of like changing of the guard.
Between Kareem and Russell, and then LeBron and MJ, kind of, and even if you want to do the 1 year of crossover between Kobe and Jordan on the Bulls, you could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the league is kind of funny that way.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you could take it from where it's like it's Russell to Kareem to there's crossover obviously between Kareem and Jordan, and then Jordan to LeBron. Like, that's probably a lot of people's top 4, right? Russell, Kareem, Jordan, LeBron, and like for essentially, I don't know what 60 something out of the 77 years of NBA history, like one of those 4 guys have been in the league,
and all but like 4 All-Star games, one of them was playing. Maybe that's what I think is the more fascinating one. I'm not gonna make you do more research, but is 04 the only year we didn't get one of the 4?
You want to? Can we do a real quick look at the 2004 All-Star team?
I got it in front of me. So the starting 5 for the East: Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, Jermaine O'Neal, Ben Wallace. For the West, Kobe was at the 2 with Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, but that's Yao Ming and Steve Francis. Once a Knick, always a Knick.
I mean, listen, Yao, Hall of Famer Yao, but like one of those asterisk Hall of Famers because he would not, if it was just his NBA accomplishments, I do not believe he would have gotten in. I think that was more of a what you have done for the game and a
global. It's a Tony Kukoc type of thing. And then Shaq, because what I remember about that year was Yao because they opened it up to international voting, and that was the first year we really saw the international influence. Yeah. And Yao won his second All-Star game start over Shaquille O'Neal, who came off the bench that year in his 11th. So.
I mean, look, there was some other talent on that team, like off the bench for those teams. Paul Pierce, top 75er. Jason Kidd, top 75er. You mentioned Shaq. Dirk, top 75er. Ray Allen, top 75er. At the same time, like Sam Cassell, Andre Karolinko, Brad Miller, Kenyon Martin, Jamal McGlure, even Ron Artest, Michael Redd, maybe not Michael Redd. Michael Redd was a pretty good scorer, but like, these guys were role players.
Mm-hmm. That's what, when you asked me who the worst All-Star was, I found the worst All-Star. What was my answer?
Jamal McGlure.
McGlure. Yeah, that's why 04 stands out to me always. I was also like 16 for this All-Star game, and my buddies and I used to like get up for this. Especially the year before was Michael's last that went into, I think it was double or triple overtime, and that was memorable.
Oh, didn't KG do something at the end of one of the overtimes, either hit a shot or like fouled?
So what happened was MJ hit a fadeaway.
That's
made
right.
Made him 9 for 27. It was going to be the storybook ending. And it was like, oh my gosh, it took him 27 shots, but Michael gets his fadeaway for the win, right? And then on the other end of the floor, because it put them up by 2, the East. On the other end of the floor, Kobe decided to do a similar shot, but wasn't like trying to make it. And Jermaine O'Neal fouled him on a 3. And Kobe made 2 of the 3 to force triple overtime. And then Michael didn't play the third overtime. What you're remembering about KG was he was the MVP of that All-Star game. Yeah,
and that's the tough part about deciphering like best All-Star teams, because I do think as much as you weigh the top, you also have to weigh the bottom.
Yeah,
and that's why it's like, again, just to take it full circle.
Oh,
who's the worst? Who will go down as the worst player on this All-Star team? I'll tell you right now, it's not Julius Randle, because if Julius Randle's the worst player on this All-Star team, that means the worst player on this All-Star team will have made 3 All-Star teams. And I don't think there's another All-Star team in history where the worst player on the team made 3 All-Star teams. Or the lowest number was 3 All-Star games.
And 2 All-NBA teams,
And 2 All-NBA teams, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a betting man right now,
like it's Barnes would be my guess. And that's to your point about the
Maxey.
Yeah, that's true. Maxey, honestly, wouldn't shock me if this is his only All-Star team. Don't worry, we cannot hear you, John.
All right,
it's fine. John needs to go on vacation with his kids. Okay, thank you.
Say bye-bye
for tuning in. Bye-bye. Have fun, Izzy. I hope you feel better. You can't hear me because he has headphones on. Oh. And I'm assuming I'm behind a window somewhere. So thank you to Knicks Film School's patrons for tuning in. Please vote on the polls that we have up. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your All-Star break. Hope you enjoyed the little girl on the screen that is dancing and smiling. We like that here at Knicks Film School. We'll talk to you when we get back from vacation.
Bye, everybody.